Okay, thanks for joining me once again. Like I said, just a quick video once again on some more uses for fat wood. As you know, fat wood is my go-to fire starter. It's abundant in the woods around where I live, and it's easy to gather. And as you can see, if you've got some good fat wood with you, you really don't have to go through the trouble of making a bird's nest and a lot of the other organization of small tenders and kindling. You can go right to some larger size firewood and get a fire going. So thanks for joining me once again. I'm Tim Langston with Red Dog Bushcraft. God bless. Hello guys, I'm Tim Langston with Red Dog Bushcraft. And today while I'm out here shooting a few videos, I thought I'd try experimenting with a new product I just bought. This is the Ultimate Survivals Technology Base all-weather tarp. I picked this up at Dick's Sporting Goods the other day for about 30 bucks. It's very similar to the casualty blankets or reusable space blankets that I use quite a bit. Because it's a tarp type material, I thought it might hold up a little bit better, and even though it costs a little bit more money, I thought it'd be a nice addition to my kit, especially if it holds up over the long term better than some of the reusable space blankets. So I'll bring you in a little bit closer, show you this, and we'll go back and try to set up the tarp in a couple of different configurations. Stay with me as I reposition the camera. Okay, let me go over this for just a minute. This is the way you purchase this in this little stuff sack. This is attached to it, and this says Ultimate Survival Technology Multi-Use Tarp Ground Cloth and Thermal Blanket. Reverses for reflective signaling surface, flame resistant, sets up in minutes, ultralight, compact, and easy to transport. Used with the base bug tent for optimum outdoor protection. It's base all-weather tarp. Says it's for one. Basic adventure survival essentials includes tarp, guy lines, and 6 stakes. On the back it shows you a couple of different ways you can set it up. There was a weight on this of 14.8 ounces, and I bought this one from Dick's Sporting Goods for $29.99. Alright, so we'll open this thing up and go in the backyard and see how we can put it up in a couple of different configurations. Okay, we're in the backyard, and I'm going to open this little stuff sack up here. Let's see what we have. Okay, so here's our tarp. It is reflective on the inside. And looks like we've got some pretty good, looks like 1 inch, 1.25 webbing on the corner. And we also have some grommets. Inside this stuff sack, boy that bird's loud. Let's see. We've got 6 steel stakes. And looks like 6 guy lines with these little adjusters on them. Now for the types of tarps I'm setting up, I am including a piece of 550 cord. That's what I usually use to set up my tarps. And I'm also going to try a couple of configurations to where you would use bungee cords. These are not included in the kit. These are just some options that I carry in my bag, and it's the way I normally set my tarps up. So we'll spread this out and see how it works. Alright, so here's the silver reflective side. I'll show you the orange side, and then I'll lay on this thing to give you an idea of how big it is. It's cut in kind of a diamond shape. Here's the orange outside. Okay, so I'm 6 foot, so that gives you an idea of how big it is. Okay, so here we are set up in the typical plow point configuration, and I'll crawl inside. Looks a little tight. It is. It's a little small, but most of the space blankets are. I've got it set up pretty low. But I guess in an emergency, you could curl up in here and get some decent protection. I'll set it up in a different configuration. Give you a quick look at this from a different angle. Okay, here we are in our lean-to configuration. I'll jump underneath there right quick. This is a little bit better, but still just a little bit small. The odd size is throwing me off a little bit. So we'll throw it over the ridge line and give that a try. Okay, well, let's see how it sets up as just a wedge overhead. I think this definitely offers you the most protection. It's a little tight, but I think it could keep you from getting wet for a little while anyway. Alright, so let's talk about just wrapping up in it. If I put it this way, I can get my upper body. If I put it this way, I can get pretty much my upper to my knees. And with the small side up across the chest and pulling into small, I can get a bit of a wrap up. But I think where this is going to be the best is maybe using for my son. It just seems to be a little bit small to me. I really wish they had made this a little bit larger, because I really like the concept of the tarp and the reflective on the inside. It's sewn really nice, and I really like the way they have the grommets and the webbing on the corners. The other corners opposite do not have the grommets, and I think that's because this is set up to be used with a bug tent. Not really big enough to use with my hammock, big enough to lay on the ground, definitely to use as a just a ground cover, and I'm sure there'll be other uses for it. It does look nice and durable. Everything looks sewn well and taped, sealed real well, but just a little small for my liking. We'll see how it packs back up. Okay, so there we are, everything packed back up and inside the bag. No difficulty, the bags are plenty big enough to stuff everything back in there. As a matter of fact, if they did away with that heavy cordage that looks kind of like paracord, but it's not paracord, and use bank line instead, it would save a ton of room, and the tent state bag would be plenty large enough to throw in a trash bag or some other small I guess what I'm saying is actually increase the size of the tarp. I wish this thing was a little bit bigger. Just a couple of feet bigger each way would have made a world of difference. I don't think it's going to be a replacement as far as my tarp goes, but it would be a nice complement to my poncho. If I use my poncho as my shelter, this would make a really good ground cloth. Alright, thanks for joining me once again. I'm Tim Langston with Red Dog Bushcraft. God bless.